Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for all the likes, shares, and comments as we spread the word about Pantheon to our fellow MMOers. It's greatly appreciated. Today we're going to be taking an introductory look at the 9 races in Pantheon to give you a general outline of the various races we can expect to play in the game. We'll be starting it off with the Archai. They originated from the ancient crystalline planet of Roa. They are descended from a race of pure magical energy called the Oen. The Archai were tragically deconstructed and recomposed by the vile followers of Ro's dark celestial lord and bred as a nation of slaves. Archai is a name bestowed upon them by their oppressed alchemic builders to honor their lost lineage of their ancestors Oen. The Archai seem very organic as they're a combination of nature fused together with the elements in a magical combination of life. So it's going to be interesting to see what their class capabilities are going to be like. Dwarves. For the good of his people, the Dwarven king Kazas sacrificed his immortality to rule among them in the wintry fortresses of Kadasa. Selflessness is a virtue of the Dwarven race, and they value friendship over a lifetime of fortune. They believe peace is a product of strength and are contented with their mastery of smithing, the arcane, the art of battle, where they have developed a lasting as well as notable reputation. In Pantheon, dwarves seem to stay within the boundaries of what we would expect from this very nostalgic race, and I'm wondering if we'll have some interesting cultural crafting skill bonuses. The Darkmire of Cyronia hail from the planet of Isil. They are known for their native beauty, valor, and nobility. The Darkmire calls none friend and few honored as foe. They are known for their ferocity in battle and their distinct tall, slender forms with ghostly eyes cast an unmistakable presence. They've adapted their kingdoms for both land and sea. The Darkmire seem to be adaptive to both land and sea, making me wonder if we'll see underwater cities and what particular attributes they'll have while in water. There is a post in the official forums from Kelson who gives us an interesting outline about the Darkmire along with some concept art. I'll leave a link in the published section below, and be sure to click on this annotation for the complete playlist of coverage here on the channel, which has my guest appearance on the voice of Terminus. You can get more information about the crew from Voice of Terminus in the published section below. Ogres, with their hulky presence and culture that values the brutal skills of battle, don't find themselves overly engaged in leisure. The Ogres hail from Gorok, a world of glacial ranges, magma flows, expansive mountain plateaus, and cave jungles. They seem incredibly adaptable to just about any terrain, and even their insects are said to grow the size of a Terminus Halfling. The Ogres relish the dance of warfare tactics, and they're known for their unmatched respect for valor and courage, whether friend or foe. I think the team has really captured a very rich and in-depth history for the Ogres, giving them a little more sophistication and versatility. I like their physical design as well. It's a great representation of the race without getting too exaggerated with their features. From the city of Thornfast, where they have made their presence known for 500 years, we have the humans. The breadth of their influence is glimpsed in the majestic navy, unrivaled on the open waters. They're also known for their studious nature and mastery of nearly every art and discipline. Well, we probably aren't too surprised by the fact that humans are the most flexible race in most MMOs, and that's not necessarily cliche. But Pantheon has made a concentrated effort to give each race a very cultivated history, and you have to admire the level of depth the team has gone to that brings so much fullness to the race stories. And to me, this gives the game a lot of soul. With a fresh blend of madness and mirth, we have the Halfling, known for their youthful exuberance and boundless energy, as well as a resolute spirit that makes them undefeatable, with admirable skills that include stealth and a devious charm of a child. There are few circumstances in which a Halfling cannot work the upper hand, especially in the trees of their home city. Although diminutive in their stature, it doesn't inhibit their keen agility abilities, nor affect their charismatic personality, whether in danger, discourse, or dance. Hearing about a city in the trees really brings me back to my roots in EQ. Kelton was probably one of my favorite cities in the game, and knowing that we're going to have a tree city for Halflings kinda narrows down my choices of what race I'll start with, but we'll see. My altaholic side will probably want a character of each race. With loyalty that is not easily won or lost, elves carry an immortal sense of how fleeting life is. Elves are unrivaled artists from architecture to agriculture, with arcane and physical prowess as natural as the wind, rain, and storm. To understand the elves, one must walk among the pages of their ancestors. It is a thick opus, full with triumphs and tragedies, begun long before their kind set upon Terminus. Elves are probably the most iconic of the MMO races, with equal flexibility in classes as humans. It will be interesting to see how diverse elves will be in Pantheon, but I'm sure we'll be very happy with our options. The smallest of the races, but filled with mystery, we have the Gnomes. Peerless in understanding and wielding of the arcane, the Gnomes are beings without true physical form due to events on their home world. From their floating city ship of Skyhold, the Gnomes can be meticulous and easily absorbed in the many tasks required to maintain their floating city. Diligence and service tend to be the highest gnome virtues, along with sound innovation. So we move from Tree City to a floating city. It looks like a gnome will be high on my alt list, but it may be fair to say that each starting city will have its own uniqueness, and I'm curious what the team will have as the transportation system between the Gnome City and the world of Terminus. And lastly, we come to the Skar. If there's an opposite of any good thing in every race, the Skar would stand alone in the extreme. Suicidally vicious, tribal, and short-sighted, the Skar fear only their Nine God, and they're fervent only in their hatred. A ravenous desire to consume fits with their thin, predatory size and build. They attack with overwhelming swiftness, but lack exceptional endurance. That sounds like the Skar may have more of a caster-centric role, unless gear and jewelry will help buff up a possible fighter class. But I don't want to hang my hat completely on the endurance factor, because I'm sure they'll most likely have a fighting class for the Skar. That wraps up our snapshot look at the Pantheon races. Be sure to check the published section below for a link that will give you a more detailed outline of each race. There's a lot to learn about the races, and I have to admit I'm very happy to see the level of backstory and history each race has. If you're new to my channel and are interested in keeping up with all the latest news from Pantheon, be sure you're subscribed. Share these videos with your clan, guildmates, and fellow MMOers as we spread the message for this classic style MMO.